talking to Malcolm. April 2002. He started telling his stories at last. I asked him if he found it difficult to talk about it. He said no. One of his jobs in the camp in the jungle was to burn the bodies because they couldn't bury them. The ground was too hard, it was all rocks. And I asked if he got used to doing that. He said no, never got used to it, especially since he was burning his friends. Another story he had was that a Japanese was telling him to do something. He couldn't understand what he was saying. The guy started shouting at him, and he got so frustrated and lost face that he tried to stab Malcolm with his bayonet. And it went into Malcolm's big thick belt, went right through that and into the, cut his skin. He complained to the interpreters, but they said there's nothing you can do about it because they'll just all pick on him and he'll have a really bad time. In Singapore, when the evacuation was taking place, he was going down to the ships for some reason, and he had to report back to the office, and they said, "Come on, why don't you come on board, get away?" He said, "No, it's my job, I've got to go back to the report to the office." And I think he thought throughout all the time he was a prisoner for like 4 years. Those lucky guys got off, and it wasn't until after he got out that he found that they'd all sunk, so he was okay. They caught a guy who was a spy once, before the invasion. He was a half German bloke who was, the sentries heard him sending out messages in a foreign language. They caught him. Malcolm's job was to arrange the transport. They took him to a dungeon. Just when they heard the Japanese were coming, Malcolm heard afterwards that the order was given to have him taken out and shot, which is what happened. I asked did he like any of the guards. He said no, scum of the earth. Horrible people. When the Japanese had them in Singapore, he was interned there for about 3 years in Singapore itself. I think one of their jobs was to help pack up the Ford engines to send back to Japan. And what he and his mates used to do, the Gordons, take out the spark plugs, drop little handfuls of bolts in, or little nuts, put the plug back in, wreck the engines. One day he said a truck, they crammed about 100 of them in the back. This chap was driving down one of the streets in Singapore, hit a Chinaman who was crossing the road, whacked into him, blood all over the place, all over the wall apparently. And he didn't care, he just kept going. He dismissed it all with a wave of the hand. Malcolm's 96 at the moment. He says there's only 2 people left from his class at school, Wellingborough. He was born, 1905. He was 8 when the war started, 12 when it finished. First World War. I mentioned the fact that he was a cross-country runner, therefore maybe that's one of the reasons why he survived, because he was fit. And he told a story about when they were rehearsing a retreat that they had to try and run away. He said they were told they had to beat Fuller, and they were allowed to hitch rides in trucks. I think they were allowed to ride bikes, so they weren't allowed to drive, or motorbike. And he said he beat half of them, because he was running. So I think he had a bit of a reputation.
See, Pagoda Pass, that's on the border, as far as I got. I walked up that way, all the way, came back by train to Singapore. All through the cholera camps. I got all the terrible jobs. Somebody lost in the jungle, I had to go out and find them.
Really?
Very young.
Ah. So you never managed to get lost?
No, I thought I was lost.
So why did you get the rotten jobs? Because you're the only one that could do it?
Well, I don't know. Because I'm probably out on the working party, and this job coming along, and when I got back for the working party, I found out I got it. Nobody else, you know.
him all the time.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
How far did you... See, I don't know what happened. You said you walked up somewhere. Did you? You were on a long walk, a long march before you did the work, or what?
I walked up on the way back after the railway was completed.
Yes.
I was sent back to Singapore because I was only lent to the administration in Thailand while the railway was being built. When it was built, they sent all those back to Singapore because there wasn't nothing to do with Thailand.
Yeah.
So,
How far was it? How far did you walk?
oh my God. So I got it down. It's quite a long way.
What, 1,000 miles or something?
No, not so much as that.
Yeah.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah, pretty awful that, Malcolm. You were lucky to find the one that was lost and not get lost yourself.
Well, you see, all the rest, when the railway was finished, they were sent to Japan on the.
All right.
But the American subs were waiting for them. Because they put them in all any old thing as long as it went.
Yeah.
And the Japs the Americans just sunk the whole lot.
Yeah.
10,000 POWs were drowned
By the Americans.
by the Americans. Yeah.
Good old
Terrible.
Americans.
What, did the Americans not know they were in the ships?
They didn't know it was on. No.
Oh dear.
Dear, oh dear.
So I suppose you lost a lot of personal friends.
Yeah.
Oh, hell of a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Did anybody else survive that you knew, that you were close to?
Yeah, but they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Poor devils.
Yeah.
Oh, Malcolm.
You're probably about the last one, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know about that. There's always someone who said I was there before. So.
Yeah.
Hard times for you.
Oh, terrible.
Mm.
Terrible. I've been bombed and God knows what. Once I was thrown up from one end of the ship, the deck to the other, by the blast. Yeah.
What was that after Singapore was taken?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
You told me once that you used to walk through the jungle at night and it was really pitch black, but you had to sort of
Yes,
follow each
after
other or something,
yes,
wasn't
there were times when I was
That's right,
walking
yes.
through the jungle, dead at night,
yeah.
and you'd think the trees were houses, as though you're walking through a village.
You'd have to
And
keep,
the one soon as on, the elephant track was flooded. It's about 8 and 9 inches of water.
yeah.
And they walk through that.
Oh, yeah.
Never getting your clothes clean or dry.
No, you wouldn't.
I had my working shorts. I got 27 patches by the time I finished.
Were any of the Japanese nice to you?
No, most bastards. You know Clifford's Pier?
Pardon?
Clifford's Pier,
Clifford's Pier? No?
Singapore.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Oh, I want to know.
Concrete. Oh, bloody 27 Japs came. They dropped their load on Clifford's Pier. Yeah.
Were you there?
I was there. Flat underground.
It was a hell of a noise.
Hell of a noise.
Malcolm, you must have 9 lives.
There was a girl standing by, only about 2 feet away. When I got up, I told her to get down, but she got the blast.
Mm.
Oh?
There's just 2 feet left on the ground.
Oh, no.
Nothing else whatsoever.
Mm. Terrible.
Well, you never forget a thing like that.
You never can.
No. You were lucky.
No.
Getting through all that.
I was sent back that day. I was sent down to Singapore. Clifford's Pier. There was one of the coaster steamers going to see that the army were on board. So I went down there was a naval bloke, a RAF bloke and me. And the naval bloke said, oh, I've got all my men on board, I'm going. So he went, he went. RAF said the same thing. They both said to me, what are you going to do? I said, I've got to report back to Fort Canning. Oh, don't be bloody silly, but I don't go.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone came out alive.
It's funny to think they could get away on the ships, considering... I mean, some people were sunk a couple of times, weren't they, or 3 times?
There's one typical town. A whole crowd of them found a RAF laws. You know, they go like for the wind as long as you got some sort. The fellow in charge was a sergeant, engineer sergeant. And he got the make and break on, this petrol engine on his hand, and they were squabbling who should go and who shouldn't go.
Yeah.
But with the make and break, chuck the thing overboard. Now none of you can go.
Oh. Well, they wouldn't get far with that anyway, would they?
Does it so now?
Yeah, great. I bet they killed him.
I laugh about that.
Yeah, they'd lynch him.
What?
They'd lynch him, string him up, but still they wouldn't get very far, would they? 100 miles or so.
I don't think so, no.
Go and hide on an island.
You had to laugh at that. But, I still think of it now, though. Those were the days.
Mm.
In fact, I found 2 girls, typists in Portland. Some of them Manchesterism, I don't know what the other one was. But they were there, they got away. I hope.
Well, I suppose this sort of experience would bring you closer to your friends, but also you lose your friends, so it makes it harder because they die with malaria and cholera.
Yeah. Oh, it was terrible.
You didn't get tortured, did you?
Not really. I was very tactful.
Yes.
Well, you don't, probably wouldn't think that I was.
They sort of whacked people with their rifle butts a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they don't like making fools of.
No.
Ooh. Once I was, somebody got a bandit out and hit, I had a soundbound belt. Hit me on the belt, actually. It's quite sick. But it didn't penetrate the skin very much, but it did. I think that was meant to be, I don't know. So I went to the conservator. He said, it's no good you messing about you. If you're going to complain, all the guard will take it out of you all the way along. As long as they're, and you won't be able to live. I believe it.
Yeah.
Things like that. I wouldn't go through it again.
Were there any good bits that you remember?
Pardon?
Do you remember any good times during that experience that you would like to go through?
No, not many.
It was all bad. I mean, you must have been... Were you sleeping rough? Sleeping out?
What?
Were you sleeping under the stars? Was it cold and wet?
Yes.
Were you cold at
It's
night?
always wet. In monsoon blizzard, you can't keep the stuff dry.
Did you have a bed?
No.
Or you just curl up on the floor?
Well, did the best. All wet though.
Mosquitoes?
Get away from the rain.
Terrible.
No, I was very lucky to get through. Very, very lucky.
Yeah.
In fact, I was sleeping between 2 doctors. One of them went to the loo. When he came back, he couldn't. He had to get up a bench, say, all the way through the tent. It was on the slats about 18 inches up high. He couldn't get up on there. Well, he was dead in 2 days. I had a... What am I talking about? You don't hear all this rubbish.
Yes, we
We're
do.
interested
Yeah,
in
we
that.
really want to know.
This fella, I had a Australian sergeant who was in charge of all the getting the stuff out of the Australian stuff out of the what's the name, go downs. Nice chap, but he called me. What would he call me? He wouldn't call me captain or sir. No, I don't know what he did. Can't remember now. I've been a POW, yeah, he was a POW. He came to my tent once. He said, I haven't had any food from God knows how. He was thin as a lark. He said, have you got anything? Like a bloody fool. I had a small tin of fish, only about that high, and there's only one fish in it. It's about that width.
Yeah.
Small thing. Oh, my iron ration. So I gave it to him, and he went off highly delighted. He didn't last 2 days. The bloody fool, he ate the whole lot. It's asking for trouble, wouldn't it?
What if you're really empty?
Too rich.
Would it kill you?
Yeah.
Just that?
Gee.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were going to eat that in small stages, small pieces.
Well, I wouldn't have owned it.
What? Because you were emaciated also, were you?
Yeah, yes.
And you knew that you shouldn't eat it.
Well,
God,
I
incredible.
wouldn't have done it that way, shouldn't I? And well, there you are. So it goes on.
So it goes on.
Well, thank you for telling us. I'm really interested in all that.
Well, of course, everybody was pinching stuff for the go-downs.
The what?
What's it? Go down now,
Sugar
really?
and wasn't anything.
What's it go down? What's
Well, it's a warehouse full of stuff from the ships.
Oh,
Needles and things. They've put about 20 needles in the boots and sell them to the Chinese.
Ah.
But I didn't have any of that.
You don't want to get into trouble.
I didn't get involved in that sort of thing. An awful lot of people do. I was on somewhere in Singapore. It was Ford Motor Company, that's right. Packing up engines to go to Japan, and they never sent any off actually, but they put a bit of them wood around them, all that sort of thing. They're supposed to strip it all down and clean it all up and re-house it in wood slats. Used to do that, and any bits and pieces used to take the sparking plugs out and chuck them down.
I fancy the Japanese expecting you not to do something like that. Aren't they silly?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's a pity they didn't take them away and use them.
They didn't, and they never got them away.
well,
And be kamikaze before they got anywhere.
Yeah, things like that. Oh, you make you laugh. One I was on the working part, they had, on the race course it was, they had big tubs of Vaseline for some, I don't know what they use it for. I thought, well, that's a good idea to send it back to the camp, to the headquarters. So I arranged for quite a lot of them to take as much of the stuff they could carry in their hats or something.
oh right.
But in the end, the camp people said, don't send any more because everybody's getting diarrhea.
Oh no! They were eating it.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Good laugh, huh?
Mm.
That wasn't very popular. Well, you try something once.
Yeah.
Probably thought it was jelly or something.
Yes.
One of them I was on the working party going somewhere in Singapore, I don't know where, I tell you where. We came across an archway, across the main road. And across, in the middle, archway, in the middle of the street, in the middle of the
Yeah.
road, and 5 heads on.
Oh,
And they were there for about a month.
oh. How terrible.
Well, according to the Jats, they're pinching stuff from the go-downs,
Mm.
which they probably were. But they got caught.
Did it stop other people from pinching things?
No,
Mm.
no. Oh, I mean, if you nearly starved, you'd try and get it.
You'd try and get anything, wouldn't you? Yeah. Mm.
Malcolm outlived all his brothers and sisters. He died 3 months under 100 years after Peggy, his second wife, died of cancer about a year before. And he said, "Old age is terrible.